Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. Hello over there. I am being blocked from part of the congregation by the tree, but why we have a tree will soon become obvious to all of us. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Society. We're grateful to gather on this beautiful morning, both in person and online, for a time of inspiration, reflection, and connection. Whether you're joining us today with joy in your heart, weighted with burdens, or searching for meaningful connections, we are glad that you are here. I'm the Reverend Diana Smith, the minister of the Unitarian Universalist Society. My pronouns are she and her. I'm a somewhat tall, white woman in my mid-40s with short, curly, white and brown hair, blue-green glasses, a gray dress, and a very green stole, standing in UUS's pulpit in the front of our sanctuary. Our sanctuary is filling with people of all ages, both in here and in the Religious Education Commons. And through the window walls of our sanctuary, we connect with the outdoors, where it is a beautiful early spring day. As we gather, we give thanks for this land and all who've cared for it over the centuries, particularly the Kickapoo, the Iowa, the Sauk, and the Meskwaki, and the Oceti-Sakowin nations. As people of many ages, genders, races, sexual orientations, classes, abilities, and health statuses, we know how important it is to come together as a radically welcoming spiritual community. As Unitarian Universalists, our faith expresses our core value of love through how we agree to be together and to support each other. We're guided by the shared principles, sources, and values of our living religious tradition. And this morning, as we celebrate Earth Day, we will continue to celebrate and explore our value of interdependence. Today, we're having an all-ages worship service, which is followed by our third Lunch Then Learn meal and workshop. We are doing this because of how important it is to this congregation to create multi-generational community. We know that there is so much we can learn from each other when members and friends of all ages are able to work together. The nursery will be available for children 5 and under throughout the service, and kids are also more than welcome to stay in here, and I am so glad to see so many of you. If you're newer to our congregation, we invite you to learn more about us after the service. For those who are here in person, you can talk with a greeter in the atrium. And for those who are online, there's a link to the visitor form in the YouTube show notes that will help us connect with you. And now, our call to worship comes from the Reverend Carol Thomas Sissel, who writes, "We are one, we are family, we are connected by blood and bone, mind and heart, and sometimes bricks and mortar. Like the finest woven tapestries of old and the spices blended and stirred into our family's secret recipes, our lives are intentionally intertwined. We are made, no, we are fashioned into a stronger community by those connections. This interlacing, intertwining, and intermingling of our existence makes each of us whole. This interlacing of our lives makes us whole, happiness and sorrow. This intertwining of our lives makes us whole, blessings and burdens. This intermingling of our lives makes us whole, lament and laughter. May we allow the magic and mystery, often named Spirit, to keep us connected long after today's service has ended. Come, let us worship together this morning. And let us begin our worship by joining our voices in song. We'll be singing hymn number 21, For the Beauty of the Earth. UUS member Virginia Melroy and our pianist Xinghui Liu will be leading us. The words will be on the screens in front of you, or if you brought in a gray hymnal, they're number 21. Please rise in body or in spirit.
For the beauty of the earth, for the splendor source of all universe, is our hymn of grateful praise. Good morning. I'm Marcia Cheney, worship associate and member here at UUS. I am a slightly shorter than average white woman with brown and purple hair and a blouse with dandelions on it today. As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame within a chalice as a symbol of sanctuary and safety, to unite us in our worship and to remind us of our ongoing search for the light of truth. Please join me in saying our chalice lighting words as lit lights our chalice. Life is a gift for which we are grateful. We gather in community to celebrate the wonder and mystery of this great gift. So let us now kindle the flame of our liberal religious heritage and renew our covenant of mutual love and care. Love is our doctrine, the quest for truth is our sacrament, and service is our prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, and to serve those in need. This we promise, this we covenant, with life and one another. Each week, we light a candle for justice and healing to acknowledge our interdependence with the natural world and with all members of the global community, especially the most vulnerable. We light this candle so that we may not be numbed to injustice and trauma, but rather find strength, courage, and love as we work in solidarity with others for liberation, justice, and healing. Together, we create resilience and hope. Today, as we light this candle, we're particularly mindful of the Supreme Court case coming up this week that affects the lives of homeless people. May the Supreme Court justices listen with wisdom and compassion, and may justice be served.
All right. Maybe we're going to get there. Okay. All right. Okay. So today we are celebrating Earth Day. Now, Earth Day happens every year on April 22nd, which is actually tomorrow. And part of our celebration of Earth Day is a big word that we have been talking about this month. This big word is interdependence. Does anybody remember hearing this word at any point this month? No, yes, kind of a mix. Okay. Yes, so some of our folks have been hearing the big word interdependence. And we've talked about it a little bit before. Now, interdependence is kind of a complicated word that means a really big concept about how we're all connected to each other. There's this word in there, dependent, which is about how we need each other for different things. And inter is about how it comes between us. So it's about how we're connected to different people when we think about how we're interdependent. And I think we're going to do some things today that are going to help us learn about interdependence and what it might mean for Earth Day and what it calls us into in some new ways. Nick, do you want to?
So, sometimes to learn new things, especially if you go to school or you've gone to school in the past, you might have to take a trip somewhere to learn something new, right? Yeah. A special trip to learn. What? What was that? Oh. That's true. When you go to school on a computer, it's not quite the same, or when you're homeschooled, it's not quite the same about going somewhere. Yeah. But if you go to school in a big building somewhere, sometimes you have to go somewhere new to learn.
My mom does.
Yeah? And what kind of thing might we need to all get in? I don't think we can all fit in my car.
No.
A bus!
The magic school bus.
Oh, I've got some readers in the room.
Is there a slide?
The magic school bus. Michael, could I get the next? Does this look familiar to some people? Yes, the magic school bus can take people places. So I'm going to need all of you to work with us today. We're doing a lot in our imagination. Do we actually have Ms. Frizzle and the magic school bus outside? I wish, but you're right. We do not. So,
We kind of have me. I kind of got, well, my hair's not so yellow anymore. It used to be a little bit more like Mrs. Frizzle. But
but Marcia, can you join us? We're going to get into the magic school bus together, and I hope that you all will turn on your imaginations and go with us. Deal? So what do we have to do?
Climb on the bus.
Climb into the bus? Okay, so
all right.
into the bus together?
the bus.
Okay.
All
Oh,
right.
and what does Miss Frizzle always say? Seat belts, everyone! Click. All right. Oh, wait, we're traveling. All right.
Here we are.
We made it.
We made it.
Where did we make it? Where are we?
Are we? It looks like we're in a forest. Since the beginning of time, people have come to forests for peace and tranquility.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Anybody there?
Hello.
Shh! I'm trying to hear the trees, you guys. Please say something.
Nothing to hear here.
Untrue. I hear animal noises.
But is that noise, or is it communication between the animals?
Noise is sound without meaning. Communication is about sending a message. Some scientists say that they think that everything in the forest communicates.
Well, we should prove it. Let's find out if those folks are talking trash or if there are talking creatures.
Oh no, I smell a magical transformation coming, and I was having such a good hair day.
Let's go forth and communicate.
I see some birds. Hey, little birdies, what's up?
I don't think they're going to answer you.
But they are talking to each other. Marcia, hit the translator.
The birds are saying, hey, sweetie, and look, a chipmunk.
A chipmunk?
A chipmunk?
And the chipmunk is saying, predator, predator.
We're not predators. We're friends. These humans, they come to the forest sometimes in their school bus, and sometimes they walk. Oh no.
Is there a bear?
What is she saying?
Hungry, hungry, smell food. The other animals smell it too. They say it smells sweet.
I think the bear knows exactly where to go. Look, the animals are following her. All the animals know exactly which berries to eat. We've got to tell the others that we heard animals communicating.
I never knew animals' talk was so detailed. They sure do know a lot, and boy, are they chatty.
There's a lot more that we can and will learn in the forest. But first, let's hear how we share our resources and help each other get the food and supplies they need. How we give, what we do with our lives, our time, and our resources is a reflection of our values. In response to the abundance we are blessed with, every week this congregation donates generously to organizations in the community whose work aligns with our values and principles. Our community partner agency this month is Table to Table, an organization that bridges the gap between abundance and hunger. Table to Table's mission is to increase food equity and reduce environmental harm by collecting and redistributing surplus food through partners to people who can use it. In the sanctuary, the ushers will collect the offering, or you can follow the instructions on the screen for how to give online. All cash contributions go directly to our community partner agency. In addition to assisting our community partner, you may contribute towards your pledge to our society or contribute to the congregation to provide additional support for our operating expenses. You may also contribute by check using the memo line to designate the purpose. During All Ages worship service on the third Sunday of the month, we also collect items. And today we're collecting baby items for community, formerly the Crisis Center's, annual baby shower. During the offertory, please bring forward any items that you brought for the baby shower. The offering is a sign of commitment to this free congregation, which is completely supported by the generosity of all who join with us. As we give and receive the offering, may we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
Right. If my friends who are in children's choir can come join me, we have 2 songs to share with you today. All right, squeeze together. All right, can we make space for Nova and Edie, please? All right, can I scoot a little bit this way? And I'll turn this a little bit this way so you 3 can sing there. All right, our first song we're singing for you today is I Love the Mountains. Everybody ready? Yeah, you can sing it with us. All right, we ready? Yep. All right. Ready?
I love the mountains. I love the rolling hills. I love the flowers. I love the daffodils. I love the fireside. Where all the woods are old. Boom, they are, 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 boom, they are.
Next, we are singing A Little Seed. I'm going to scoot back so that my friends can be seen a little bit better, okay? All right, are we ready?
So animals communicate, but do you really think that plants do too?
Well, sure. The bear, chipmunk, and bird knew which berries were ripe.
Well, okay, so fine. Plants do communicate with animals with colors and smells, but,
But what?
well, the big but. The biggest but of all. Trees don't talk to trees.
How do you know? You're not a tree.
This gives me the best idea that I've had in minutes. It's a good thing that I brought along this magical, custom-made, choose-your-own-life form Insta-Swapinator, because this is going to be fun. 1 second you're a person, the next you get to be anything you want to be. You could be a wasp, a birch tree, a fir tree.
Oh, why does this remind me of that time we got rooted? All I want to be is a nice, quiet mushroom.
Ah, Nick, I always knew you were a fun guy.
Hey, Reverend Diana. Here's your chance to be proven wrong. Let's be trees and settle this once and for all.
Don't need to. It makes no sense. There's no reason a tree would ever need to talk to a tree.
You just don't want to be wrong.
Ha, I'll show you.
What's that? Some kind of bug? Oh no! They're attacking those trees, including Reverend Diana.
Hey, get it off me! Quit it! Ow!
Somebody help Reverend Diana. Help! Reverend Diana needs help. Hurry. Oh man, why did I have to make us trees? Why did I think they could talk? I was so wrong. And now Reverend Diana is getting eaten alive. Help! Help!
Bugs are sapping my energy! Must do something! Aphids! Aphids! Under attack! Under attack! Aphids! Aphids!
What's that
Help!
smell? I don't know, but it's coming from that tree.
Oh, thanks, little wasp.
Oh no, she's fading. She needs energy. We need to get Reverend Diana help. If only I could tell somebody, but I can't even. What's that tickling?
Would you keep it down up there? I'm trying to nap, and you're making my mycelia tingle.
Your Celia? Who's that?
My mycelia. Basically, my toes. My hundreds and hundreds of long, skinny, thread-like toes.
Wait, is that what's tangled around my roots? Your toes? Your mycelia? Hey, is that how we're talking?
Yeah, like wires. Kind of. That's how we were talking anyway. Good night.
Nick,
What?
can you talk to anyone besides me?
Unfortunately, yes. Hang on. I better take this. Hey, what's up? Oh, okay. I'll pass it on. Bye.
What was that?
Huh? Oh, just some tree with a message to some other tree. Happens all the time.
You can talk to other trees?
Well, yeah. These mycelia things go everywhere underground. Every tree in the forest is connected. Now, where was I? Oh, yeah, nap.
Then help!
Yeah, ouch! Would you keep it down? You're making my ring ring.
You need to tell everyone. Reverend Diana needs help.
What? Why didn't you say so? All the trees in the forest, come on. Reverend Diana needs help. Reverend Diana needs help. Reverend Diana needs help. Reverend Diana needs help.
Reverend Diana needs help. Guess I should get everyone's attention. Hey, everyone, listen up.
Magical! She's like the mother tree in the story I read about, the Boab tree.
That's right, W.A. And I have a message for everyone. We need to get Reverend Diana the nourishment she needs. Can I get an okay?
Okay. Let's do this. Only how? I mean, we're all stuck far apart, and Reverend Diana's way over there.
Oh, we have our ways. Fir trees, send your sugar. Pine trees, send your carbon. Nick, ready to receive and distribute those through mycelia fungus network.
My mycorrhizal fungus network? Oh, I guess so.
Okay, everyone. On my count, 1, 2, tree.
Okay. Through my mycorrhizal fungus network, we can send Reverend Diana the nutrients she needs to be healthy.
Here comes some carbon.
Nutrients. Oh, yeah. Whoa, that's better. Okay.
We did it! We saved Reverend Diana.
Thanks for getting the word out.
So you heard me when you were a tree?
Okay, you were right. Trees can talk.
That's right. We're trees and we're talking.
But not through words and sound.
Better, through chemical messages in the air, and more impressively, under the ground through Nick's mycelia.
Isn't it wonderful? The members of the forest all look out for one another.
Just like friends do.
I know you're a tree and everything, but do you have to be so sappy?
Well, thanks everyone for joining us in this adventure. We sure did learn a lot.
And now, I invite us all into a time of meditation, contemplation, and prayer. As we sit here today, noticing how we are connected. May we sink into this awareness. May we feel more deeply the wind in the trees. May we let our awareness expand to include the mycorrhizae under the ground and the little bugs that are part of this web of existence that makes so much possible. As we notice our breath moving in and out, may we notice how it connects us, how it connects us to each other, as well as to the trees and the wind. May we notice the oxygen that we're bringing in, the carbon dioxide we're exhaling, that helps us feed the trees, helps the trees feed us. May we sink ever more deeply into a sense of wonder and gratitude. May these nourish us in this moment and all moments, just as earth in all her wonder nourishes us every moment. And let us today and all days come back to that first, simplest, most precious prayer. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Amen. Blessed, blessed be. So as we just learned, by listening to animals and by becoming trees, we are beautifully and wonderfully interdependent. What's more, we're mysteriously interdependent. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, for a long time, even though many traditional cultures and religions told us that animals and plants communicated, that Earth communicated and was richly interdependent, scientists didn't understand how. And so, in much of the developed industrial world which we're part of, we acted like we aren't interconnected, like we don't depend on each other. And so we acted like we could do whatever we wanted with one part of the system and it wouldn't affect other parts of the earth, that everything would be okay. Now, lots of people who worked and lived closely with the land were puzzled by this, and yet with so many messages saying that humans could extract natural resources and use the land however we wanted without many consequences, many people thought things would be okay anyway. And that brings us to the story of Earth Day. Now, does anyone know the story of what happened to bald eagles and their nests about 60 years ago? Few people out there do, including some of our young folks. This is awesome. Well, I think about this story every winter when I walk along the Iowa River and watch the eagles perching in trees and fishing, counting 10 to 14 usually in the space of a mile or two. Well, in the early part of the 20th century, many new chemicals were being developed all over the world, and people weren't aware of the effects of those chemicals. Since people weren't aware of the effects, chemicals were released into the air, the land, and the water, and were left there. In 1962, someone named Rachel Carson published a book called Silent Spring, which began raising concern for living organisms, the environment, and the links between pollution and public health. One of the effects of the pollution was that some of the chemicals were causing bald eagles' eggs to become fragile and collapse. Bald eagles were becoming endangered species because more baby eagles couldn't be born from those fragile eggs. Now, people started realizing that many people, and especially people who lived in cities or near factories, were also having health problems as a result of pollution. And Rachel Carson's book helped people really start to understand this. Now, people were upset about all of these things, from people being hurt to eagles not being able to be born. And they started engaging in protests. People would gather in many public places and march with signs or chants. And some people who are here might have participated in some of those protests. Anyone? Yeah, okay, see a few hands. All right, good. Then, in 1969, there was a massive oil spill in Santa Barbara, California. In January 1969, over the course of 10 days, 80 to 100,000 barrels of oil spilled into the ocean and onto the beaches of Santa Barbara County. The oil spill killed 3,500 seabirds, as well as dolphins, seals, otters, and sea lions. It was horrible. To this day, it's still one of the worst oil spills that we've ever had. And pictures of that oil spill and the damage that it caused were broadcast throughout the United States. Gaylord Nelson, who was a U.S. Senator from Wisconsin, saw what had happened. Inspired by the student anti-war movement and the oil spill, he tried to start a high-energy environmental movement. He wanted to force environmental protection into the national political agenda. Many other people, including Unitarian Universalists, had been working on this for several years, too. They wanted to create a national day focused on the environment and the effects of pollution on human health. Other peace activists were trying to create a day to honor Earth itself. And so Senator Nelson announced the idea for a national teach-in on environmental issues to the national media and developed an organizing group. They decided to hold that teach-in on April 22nd, 1970, 54 years ago tomorrow. That day, 20 million people took to the streets, parks, and auditoriums to demonstrate for a healthy, sustainable environment in massive coast-to-coast rallies. Thousands of colleges and universities organized protests against environmental degradation. And groups that had been fighting against oil spills, pollution factories, and power plants, raw sewage, toxic dumps, pesticides, freeways, the loss of wilderness, and the extinction of wildlife suddenly realized that they shared common values. They didn't need to be separate groups working on separate things. And so these movements kept growing. They led to many laws in the United States and around the world that protect our environment today. And we've come a long way. I'm proud to have been part of passing and implementing some of those laws, and I know that many other people here have been part of that movement. If you've been part of the movement to protect our environment, can you raise your hand? Look at that, that's pretty awesome. Now we can see that lots of us are part of this movement, but we know that the work isn't done. That's in part because the world keeps changing, and in part because we keep learning more about the world. We are wonderfully and mysteriously interdependent, as we've been learning today. And one of the really cool things about that, about the fact that we're interdependent, is that not only can we celebrate how trees and mushrooms and wasps and berries and bears are connected, it's that we can also do things, little things and big things, to help us protect the earth, that help us create a healthier environment. We can do things like celebrating our connections by doing things like hiking and birding and kayaking and forest bathing and exploring. And we can also do things like collecting prairie seeds and planting them to restore prairies. We can pull invasive species. We can compost. We can clean up garbage. We can protect our water. We can reduce fossil fuels, and we can pass laws. We can lean into our interdependence in so many ways. And so, as we move towards the end of our time together today, Nick is going to lead us in an activity to explore some of those connections a little bit more deeply.
Hi. I didn't introduce myself earlier because it might have gotten in the way of the flow, but for those of you who don't know me, my name is Nick Kaplan, my pronouns are they, them, and I'm the Grateful Director of Lifespan Religious Education here at UUS. As Reverend Diana talked about, big word of the day, of this month for us here, is interdependence. And a lot of the time, in UU spaces especially, in youth events and youth culture, we end up using yarn at the end of our cons. And we toss this yarn around in a big group, often using our word or phrase of what we're coming away with from the weekend. And we wrap it around our wrist, and then we pass it on to somebody else. And then we take that yarn with us. This one around my wrist is actually from time I spent on Friday with other religious educators and ministers. And so this is my interdependence yarn that reminds me of that time together. But today I need some friends. We're going to do that same activity, that many of you might be familiar with, but we're going to do it a little bit different to kind of highlight some of those things Reverend Diana was talking about. So if you are one of my web volunteers, I need you to come forward into this space. Thank you, Nova. All right. Okay, and you all are going to, inside this blue tape here, John, make a circle. There we go. John, if I could have you up here. There we go, and that way we're missing. Yeah, spread out just a little. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to be up high so that they can all still see me whether they're here or at home, okay? So I'm going to take this yarn and I'm going to wrap it around my hand so that I can hold it tight. And then I'm going to pass it across the circle. Oh no, and it's getting tangled, to my friend Nova. Oh my word. We tested this. There we go. And then Nova's going to wrap it around her wrist. She's going to get some help, I see. Oh no, and of course it's tangling. I tested this before, I promise, and now it's going to tangle. And then, so Nova's going to hold tight to her piece of yarn in the circle, and then, Veronica's going to take it. And then Veronica, after wrapping it a little bit, is going to pass it to Kepler. Nova, can you take a big step back, Nova? There we go. And then Kepler's going to pass it to Maria. Oh, step back, pull. Oh, there we go. Step back, Kepler. There we go, because we're making a big web for all of them to see. All right, and then Maria is passing it to her dad, and I'll go ahead and take it back, sure. Okay, so when we do this, first we're going to be different kinds of animals or plants. So who can I ask? Kepler, can you give a big tug on what you're holding on? Oh, who felt that tug? Oh, awesome. Kepler, what kind of plant or animal were you thinking about?
I was thinking about a lion.
A lion. So I need everybody out there now to help me out. If Kepler was being a lion, and that lion affected 3 other things, what other things could that lion have affected? Yeah, fishies. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, that would be interesting, a pineapple. William, what else did it affect? What else could a lion affect? A gazelle. Awesome. And I know a lot of us have seen Lion King. What happens after the lion dies? What does it feed? The earth, the grasses, right? Which then the gazelle eats, right? So that lion that Kepler was affected so many other things in our web. All right. Nova, can you give a big pull on your yarn? Oh, that was a good one. All right. Nova, can you tell me about an animal or a plant you were thinking of?
I have to think again because I was not thinking about it.
That's okay. You can think again, and Kepler's going to help you, it sounds like.
An otter.
An otter. Okay, so that otter, who felt that? I felt it. Maria, did you feel it? Awesome. So even though I'm not right next to Nova at all, but Nova affected me. How could an otter affect the world around it? Yeah, go ahead, somebody shout something out. Fishies again.
Yeah, because otters
Seaweed. By eating the urchins, the otter protected the seaweed, right? So it might have eaten the fish, but then it saved the seaweed, right? So these are ways that different plants and animals might interact. I've got more examples that we're going to need to do, so I'm gonna pass on hold on to that for just a moment, okay? All right, now, instead of plants or animals, my friends up here with me in this web, we're going to think of different actions that we might take, or as individuals, or as organizations, so things like Reverend Diana mentioned, like the oil spill, or things that Reverend Diana maybe didn't mention, like using chemicals on our lawn, or planting wildflowers. So we're going to think of actions now, all right? It does kind of look like a star. Makes me think of Wish. You're a star. All right, okay. Maria, can you give a big tug on your yarn? Oh, that really affected some people in this web. Yes, it did. Maria, can you think of an action that might affect the earth? Maybe something that you do at home or that you see us doing here at UUS? Yeah, okay, that is a very specific action, doing backbends, but something that you might do. Maybe what you do with a piece of paper when you're done with it. Ooh. Ooh, I heard Kepler. Did you hear Kepler? Did you hear? Yeah, can you say it to me? Recycling. So recycling that piece of paper is a different choice than throwing it in the trash can, right? Awesome. So recycling paper, how many people felt something? Oh, wow, that recycling that piece of paper. So my friends out here, what does recycling potentially do? What action or what effect can that have on the world around us? Yeah, go ahead, shout something out. Make the earth better. That's the goal, right? Yeah. Nom-noms for worms, yes. So sometimes when we recycle, we might take that paper and we might shred it up and put it in with compost, right? Awesome. And then worms help us, right? Yeah, dirt, making our dirt nice and healthy. All right, can I have one more big tug from Veronica? Ooh, who felt that?
I felt that a lot.
You felt that a lot. Oh no! Yeah. Veronica, what's an action that you might take or an organization might take that affects the world around us? Taking care of the water. Awesome. So, taking care of the water, how does that affect the world around us? That might help the otters. Yeah. Cleaning trash out of the water, that's a way to take care of it. Yeah. Clean food. So we need that water to help us grow food, right? And if the water is clean, then the food can be cleaner and better for us and the world around us, right? I think that's all the time we have for our wonderful web activity. Thank you so much to my volunteers and everyone out there who helped us with that activity. Just as a reminder, we were all connected at different times during that, and our actions were really important.
What if we all?
All right, thank you. If we all pulled, that would be interesting. I wonder what would happen. All right.
Nurturing gratitude and how we understand and express interdependence is part of how we live into our Unitarian Universalist faith. May what has been shared today help us more fully affirm our interconnection and live into love and justice. Immediately after service, we gather in the fellowship hall and outside for conversation and community. For those who would like to share their joys or sorrows in conversation in a smaller venue, the Pastoral Care Associates will be leading a Compassionate Connection Circle in the Walnut Room immediately after today's service. Today, our Lunch and Learn series continues with a tree walk led by the Land Ministry after lunch. We'll be identifying trees, shrubs, and native grasses on our land. Those who would like to join should gather near the front doors after lunch, probably around noon. Listen for an announcement. And now to close our service today, we will sing hymn number 1064, Blue Boat Home. Please rise in body and spirit as you're able.
I've been sailing
We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. All these we carry in our hearts and in our minds until we are together again.
As we move towards ending our time together, I invite you to close your eyes for a moment, if it helps, and think of one thing that you would like to do, that you will do tomorrow, or the day after, or today, to mark Earth Day. As you go into this day and this week, may you go noticing our interdependence, and may you go leaning into the promise of Earth Day ever more fully. Go in peace, love, and justice, living love ever more fully and fiercely into this world. Amen, and blessed, blessed be.